then just go straight over the top of the mask. And then it will leave the image underneath. Never be frightened to cover your colourful backgrounds with black, because the black will make the background pop. So the black just makes the colours pop out, and it's a bit similar to this one. I'll do.
That's really cool.
Because having black in your journals, it just helps offset all the bright colour that's in there. So that was using the shape, and then to stamp inside them I'd use the background. See, they come like that and you just break them up. Hey! Which stamps? Just place it back on. I'm just going to make a montage of the legs. I could have written in here, I could have done all sorts really.
This is fun.
Yeah.
And that's just a dry paper towel. You're
Always dry paper towel. Kitchen baby wipes spread everything, so yeah, dry paper towel. And then because it's on paint, it doesn't dry instantly, so you need to just heat it. dry. Or, you know, or move on to something else. And do. There, you see, that's where I started some writing through. And it's the same with these. They silhouette images, they work the same. You have a stencil, you have a mask. And then you just take a pen. In my usual, very neat, precise way. And then I could decorate, I could start decorating around there, but I like to then maybe go in with another stencil. Let's see. And I'm going to use the white. And you can see through the stencil, so you can see where to stencil. Do you see what I mean?
How do you know when you're finished?
Yeah. I don't know.
I thought you were finished long ago. So good.
Well, sometimes I am. Sometimes I'll just move on to another page, and sometimes I'll just keep going. And you know, they all look different, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
No, it's when I've lost interest.
Do you ever leave it when you lose interest and then come back? And
Yeah, I lose interest all the time. I have mental issues, so my mind just goes from one to the other. You know, so yeah.
But then do you come back?
Sometimes, yeah. I work on 8 things at once.
Yeah.
So you know, I do. It depends what I'm doing. It depends where I am. If I'm on a plane most of the time, so that's when I finish things off and do my doodling and stuff like that. You know, it just depends really whether I'm at a show or doing how bored I am, or if there's lots of jobs to be doing, I've got to get some business work in, then yes, I'll doodle for ages. But, you know, hey, Miss
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. See your stuff.
See my stuff?
Yeah, those are your stuff.
So I'm just going to make this little one stand out.
What white pen is that? I'm sorry, I just.
This one is a Sharpie, but I
Is it
use
oil-based
anything.
or is it acrylic
No, it's
based?
water-based.
It's hard to find a good white pen that does that so easily.
No, they all work. You just all use them too quick. Your paint has got to be totally dry. Ink, you shouldn't use them for 24 hours. I use any pen there is. It doesn't bother me. Any white pen I will pick up and
Some of them
use.
is white though when I get it out there. That's what I'm saying. It's not as white on the background.
Depends what you're putting it on. You will never get a white pen on ink because ink will pick up the colour that's underneath. So ink will always alter. On paint you should get a white. White should be white on paint. So I don't know whether you're doing it on a combination maybe of something, but ink you will never get a white on ink.
I just think it's
because
the
it
flow of
dyes
the pen isn't even coming out right. Like the kinds of pens I've gotten that are white, it's not flowing well, so it doesn't come out like that.
This is a paint pen.
A paint pen, okay.
Yeah, it's so it is actual paint that's in there, but you could do it just as easily with a gel, with a gel pen or anything like that. But I find that the biggest cause of death in America of white pens is using it too soon. Yeah, the paint is slightly different, but on a lot of the ink that I do, this is done at least 24 hours. This is probably done 6 months later, knowing me. But this is,
It's really dry, in other words.
Yeah, and people go, oh, it's dry. No, it's not. It's got to be cured. It's got to be really, really cured. So that is that's the thing, really. They've got to be really, really
Patient.
Yes. But you see, I work on 10, 12 things at once, so I find it's the scrapbookers who are not patient because they're used to working on one thing
and getting it done.
So they start it and they want to get it finished, whereas somebody like me would never, I don't start anything with the intention of finishing it. If I finish it one day, that's a bonus. I do things for the sake of doing things, so I just enjoy whatever I'm doing at the moment.
And I'm changing my ways to that way, but it's a difficult
but
transition.
But you see, I have
from
ADHD, I have mental issues, so that's how I do.
That's why we love you.
Yeah, that's my, that's why there's always something going on in my head, so that's just the way I am. So I might not come back to something. Like I started this yesterday and I haven't finished it. I might not finish it for 4 or 5 months. I might finish it on the plane going home if I'm bored or can't sleep, Whereas a lot of people, Tim has to start something and he has to finish it, But he knows what he's going to do before he even starts. I haven't a clue even when I'm halfway through. I have no idea.
So you don't even think of doing a page with journaling until after you've gotten your background on, and then you might come up with words to it?
Yeah.
So organic.
Yeah, it is. It's very organic. And what I do is easy, but my process it even confuses me. I don't know. But what I actually do, everything I do is very, very easy. But it's like today. I've sat here, I've done the background, I've put this on. I would never do that at home. I would have a pile of backgrounds that I did a day, ages ago. I would have just done it straight. But I'm demoing, so I'm showing you how I do. But I would never do this. So I would pick this up, which maybe it might have been done months, and then I would put this on, then I'd get bored and I'd do something in that book. Look, you see, I haven't even coloured the words in that book. There'll be stuff in this book not finished. I just do, and sometimes, when I'm on a plane, I do all my doodling and all my writing and all my filling in.
Because it's what you feel like doing.
Yeah,
Process,
this time
right?
I did all my cutting out. I sat on the plane and did all my cutting out, because that was what I felt like doing. So you see, again, I've stamped. If I stamp something, I stamp it loads of times because then it's there. I'm really odd. I do things in a different way, and then I just pull things out. So now, if I want to put something on here, I can look in here and I can think to myself, she might look nice there. In fact, she does. I'm going to put her on there.
You just stamp.
Yeah, do you see what I mean? So I just put her on there. So I have another file that's got stamped ready to cut and things like that. So I work in a slightly different way, and it's only at shows and when I'm doing a video or teaching.
Like that.
Oh, there's another one. Piecework. I do piecework, which means piecework is when you I was a machinist and we all did piecework.
Yes,
so
that's it.
yeah.
It's like a car assembly line.
You get more done because we used to make wedding dresses, and if you made a wedding dress from start to finish, it took you if we used to make so many arms, so many bodices, so many and put them all together, and we could make 20 wedding dresses, say, and if we did separate wedding dresses in the same time, we'd maybe make 12. So because you're stopping what you're doing every time. I stopped this, I moved this, I stopped this, yeah. Whereas if I get a white pen, I'll white pen everything. If I get a stencil, I'll stencil everything. Do you see what I mean? So that's the way I work. Whereas other people have to
have a
start.
finished project.
But that's why they ruin the pens, because this is not cured, and people go, it's dry.
You pick
It's
the pen
not.
up, right? And then,
Yeah, and then it just eats the pen. And once you've eaten the pen, that's it.
This is
You
what
know.
I use right there.
You see, that's one of the best. The stick
And
note.
it never works for me.
That's one of the
Because
best.
I'm doing it
You see,
too
yeah,
fast.
and the thing is that
Slow
one.
down.
My complaint with that one is it's too flowy, it's too creamy. When it's
Really?
new, and because I go fast, I smudge it when it's new. So I think it is. I
And
think
this
you're doing
cures
it.
a lot faster, these ones?
Yeah, they're just like instantly. So I'm positive you're doing it with not wrong, prematurely.
Okay.
You're just premature because that is one of the creamier.
That's what I thought.
It is one of the creamier pens. Look, that is my complaint with it. When it's brand new, it's too wet. This is running out. Is there another one?
I have these.
No. But this one is running out because I've been using it a lot. This is it's on its way out. But normally, and it's all smudgy because
yeah.
it's so wet. Do you see what I mean?
And how long does it take to dry?
Not that long, but when I'm
can't-
writing
you can't do
quickly
this.
like that, I'm like, oh, you know. So I like to. I prefer them when I'm about halfway down. I prefer it when it's now, because sometimes it's just a lot wetter than that. You know, I'll go here, and come back and it'll smudge. So I think you're doing it on surfaces that are not cured. So do what you're doing and then go, right, tonight. So what will
take a
happen
nap.
is, so what will happen is tonight, I'll go back to my hotel room tonight, and I don't watch television, I don't do things like that. So I'll go back to my hotel room like with these, and then I'll just white pen everything. Do you see what I mean? And then tomorrow I'll do something different. So it's just the way you work. And I always say to people, this is not the right way. This is my way. That's all. This is what works for me.
You need to see what other people do to find your own way.
Yes, you do. You do.
know?
And that's why I say feel free to copy anything I do. I always say to people, you know, the way you learn is to copy. That's how the masters learned. See you later,
I
darling.
love to just listen.
You just want me to talk about anything, though. You're not interested in what I have to say, just as long as I'm
No,
talking.
I agree
just as
100%.
long as my mouth is going.
Because even though I predominantly, because it's what's expected, teach scrapbooking,
Yes.
it's letting them understand that there is no right or wrong.
No.
And this isn't a job.
Yes.
It's a hobby or a
The
pastime.
scrapbookers are thawing. The bendings, like
Yes, and it's good.
they're
And it's
getting
'cause
there.
we're
It is
breaking
good. Yes, I've broken them
Yes,
completely.
yeah.
I've caused many a psychiatrist appointment. But the scrapbookers are also coming over as well, which is really nice to see. It's nice to, and you can always tell in an art journal class who's the scrapbooker because they want to put things. So how many inches from the bottom is yours?
Yes.
Just put it down. Well, how much is yours? It's funny. But they are coming over and it's lovely. I love to see.
But it is fun. I think
all-
that's the fun
yes.
part, right? Is helping them get there.
Remind them it's fun.
Yeah.
You know,
It
I always
is.
say life is hard, your art shouldn't be.
But
That's
North
the thing.
Americans, though. It's
No,
'cause
Americans.
Yes.
Americans.
Yeah. 'cause maybe-
Americans.
Yeah. But I find they think it's a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is, and they're stressed out. I'm like, if you're stressed out, you need to find a new hobby.
Yes.
Because this
And
is
have more
not.
fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I will tell them that too next time.
Yes, do. So Dyan says have more sex.
Okay.
That'll just
I
stress them.
just lost that scrapbooker that my friend told me if I scrapbook like you, I wouldn't do it. So I stopped.
Yeah,
started doing this
I know,
stuff.
I've seen people go, wow, I'm on a roll. I've done 2 layouts this month. Like, woohoo! I've done 85. Not that theirs isn't any more.
No, it's
but
just
I
a
wouldn't have
different
the
mindset.
patience.
No,
Can
but
you
that
imagine
you
me
would have given
scrapbooking?
up on that.
I
then,
wouldn't.
right? Yeah, you
I
found
wouldn't.
what fits.
Yeah, but other people love that, and that's the thing. This is me. This is what's right for me. This is not right for
I
other
love it.
people.
This I do for myself. Like I said, for
Yeah.
a lot of us, mine it's a job, so I do whatever
Yeah.
they want me to.
Yeah.
So, but I love it. I love
Yeah.
I love layers.